Everybody seems to be talking about gut health these days. You can watch anything from online to TV, and you're probably going to see commercials promoting some type of probiotic or prebiotic supplement. They're even putting it into drinks. Kind of everywhere you look, you're seeing probiotic. However, families of old have naturally had good gut health through fermentation without buying any of those types of products or even supplements. And learning how to ferment and using ferments in your family's gut health is a great way to naturally get them included. So why do we want to use ferments? Why is homemade better than store-bought options? Well, let's dive into that. First off, we need to understand how fermentation actually works. So when we are taking our fresh produce, so our vegetables, you can do fruit. A lot of people do, however, use vegetables from pickles to sauerkraut, curtido, kimchi, hot sauces, even carrots, and you can do fruits, is we're putting them into a saltwater brine solution. So you're taking a certain percentage of salt, you're dissolving that into water, and you're pouring it over these in a glass jar that has some type of airlock system on it, which can be a metal band and lid, or you can even get these types of airlock systems. What happens is you need to have the correct salt percentage per what type of vegetable. So usually vegetables that have higher amounts of starch in them are going to require a little bit more of a salt concentration in order to keep bad bacteria and yeast at bay until the fermentation process really gets going. So you have lactobacillus bacteria, and what happens is the good bacteria start to proliferate in this environment. So they actually start to consume the food. And as that's happening, you're actually turning the contents pH-wise is getting turned towards acidic. And the reason that that's a good thing is acidity helps to keep bad bacteria at bay. It's why it's one of the golden rules when it comes to canning that botulism doesn't survive in a pH level of 4.6 or lower being more acidic. So we know that acidity can help keep different bacteria from growing, and that is some of the function on how it actually helps to preserve the food. But we have got all of this live pre- and probiotic organisms, good bacteria, happening in our fermented food. Now, one of the great things about doing this at home is it costs way, way less. You can ferment with just having a little bit of salt water and your fresh produce, and it is going to be, at the store, some of the jars of sauerkraut and fermented foods, they can be anywhere from like $9, $12 on up, and you can do that for a fraction of the cost at home. Plus, when you're doing it at home, you know it is really, really fresh. And this might be the biggest thing for folks is you actually can control the flavor environment. A lot of people don't have in their palate because sadly we've gotten away from eating a lot of fermented foods, at least in the US. So a lot of people don't really have the palate for a really strong flavored ferment. When you're fermenting it at home, you can control how strong that flavor profile is by both temperature and the length of the ferment. So this is really great because my kids don't like store-bought ferments. Now, some people do like store-bought ferments. However, they're usually a little bit too strong for my kids. And you just don't have the variety. Like, I don't think I've ever seen ginger fermented carrots on our grocery store shelves. I have seen some kimchi before and regular sauerkraut. I've never seen curtido, and sometimes you can find some pickles, but having the live ferment. Now, oftentimes too, you will see things like hot sauce. A lot of hot sauce is fermented. However, in order to keep it shelf stable and not have to be refrigerated, a lot of companies will ferment and make their hot sauce, but then they're basically pasteurizing it, which is killing all of those probiotics. So you can still get the flavor, but because they have made it shelf stable, not needing to be refrigerated, they've actually killed all of the goodness off. So you get to control all of those things when you ferment them at home, not to mention you're saving a ton of money. And then it comes to incorporating the ferments into our diet. And it's really easy, especially if you've got a variety, to work all of these into your meals. So one of our favorite things is curtido, which is a Spanish sauerkraut. And we love to put this over eggs, on tacos, even in regular salads, on sandwiches. Like, this is delicious and you can put it on almost anything. Of course, with our fermented pickles, if you're doing a charcuterie board, works great for that. Hamburgers, sandwiches. I even just like to have pickles with a couple slices of cheese. Like, any way that you would have a pickle, you can do with a fermented pickle. Oh, one of our fast favorites is you can take a spear of the pickle and take like turkey, like lunch meat, and put a little bit of cream cheese on it, and then put that pickle in the center and roll it up. It makes a great hors d'oeuvre. That is one of our favorite ways as well. Then where you've got these, which is a little bit sweeter, which is our fermented ginger carrots. These are great just to have as a snack. Again, you could have them, put them on a salad, just have them as a side dish. These are really good. And then of course, this is fermented hot sauce. So anything that you would be putting hot sauce on. So on top of eggs, obviously on top of any type of taco salad. This is great condiment wise to get the probiotics in. So there's all different kinds of ways that you can begin incorporating fermented foods into your family's diet. And of course, you could just eat it by the spoonful. And honestly, with the pickles and the fermented carrots, I like just grabbing one and munching on it. It just is a quick, crunchy snack. One of the reasons we started incorporating ferments is because I had to have my upper stomach and esophagus biopsied for cancer. Now, it came back cancer-free, but it showed quite a bit of erosion, and I had cellular change, which is the precursor to cancerous cells. So I started looking heavily at all of the food that we were consuming and ways to naturally help heal my stomach, and working on my gut microbiome and gut health, and that is where ferments came in. And it has been amazing. It's now been going on almost 16 years since I was able to get off all of the prescription medications I was on for that, and was able to heal, and I've never had to go back on them. So fermentation is not only excellent for our gut health, but it's also been a great way for us to preserve the harvest, especially when I don't have a lot of time. And some of these things aren't really conducive for canning, like the cabbage. So ferments have become just a natural part of our house, and we eat them all year long. If you want to learn more about how to ferment, I'm going to be doing a live workshop on August 18th online. You can click the link below in the video description and learn more about it, where I'm going to be walking you through 3 of my absolute favorite ferments.